Hey, what's up, guys? Riff here. So obviously a lot has happened over the past 2 weeks since the assassination of Charlie Kirk. And with everything else in this world, whenever there's a major event, it trickles down into places we talk about on this channel, like the gaming industry and content creators who are saying unhinged things about this act of political violence. And today, we're going to once again look at someone from the gaming industry who is finding out. And we get a very interesting response from the company that he worked at. And we're also going to look at another bad day for Hasan Piker, who's been saying a lot about Charlie, but it's reopened a discussion about the routine advocacy for political violence that he's been doing over the past couple of years. And there is a very unfortunate set of developments in play for him, and you don't want to miss that later in the video. But let's start off with the news from the gaming industry. So shared by Smash JT here. He shares a post about an individual named Light Humphreys, who's a marketing manager at Probably Monsters, which, as he points out, as some reminders here, some background, Probably Monsters owned Firewalk Studios, sold to Sony, which was the same studio behind Concord. We can't get Concord out of the discussion of anything to do with the gaming industry. They just keep hanging on despite being shut down. Got to be like a year ago at this point. But Probably Monsters, they are still kicking. They're still working here. But they had a very interesting challenge on their hands thanks to this individual on their publicly listed set of employees here. You can see Light Humphreys, the global marketing manager. And if you look at his bio here, he worked on previous projects like Magic the Gathering, Call of Duty, Mortal Kombat, Sekiro, Spyro, and others. So this guy's been a part of some pretty big projects, but he's also making a lot of unhinged posts here. You can see starting off, I wonder if MAGA will start wearing bandages on their neck, referring to the fatal wound in the neck of Charlie Kirk. And of course, he's referring to Donald Trump here. That was when there was an assassination attempt on his life. So he's talking about multiple assassination, at least attempts, and one successful one in one post. But he continues over here saying, coincidence that they voted to not release the Epstein files at the same time Charlie Kirk was shot? I think not. So they're promoting a conspiracy theory, trying to say the Charlie Kirk assassination was an inside job or something. And then he says, what if Charlie wasn't killed for his beliefs and it was like his scorned gay lover or something? So he's not only spreading more misinformation, he's slandering a dead man, a married Christian man, trying to say something disgusting like that right there. And also down here saying, getting shot under a prove me wrong banner while talking about the Second Amendment is irony I think only writers are capable of. Obviously pretty disrespectful. And then down here, he compares Charlie Kirk to Osama bin Laden, saying you won't make me feel bad for him if you say think about his family because Osama bin Laden had 26 kids. Here's the last set of posts here. I'll read a couple. His last words being gang violence only to be shot by a 7-year-old white man is absolutely wild. More misinformation. Looks like Nepal gets it, waiting for America to actually do something as well. And Nepal just went through an uprising, so he wants that to happen in America as a result of what's happened over the past 2 weeks. I mean, there's a lot of unhinged posts. You can pause and read more of them. I think you guys get the point. Now, in a surprising turn of events, it's been hard to get any action on these sorts of situations, but Probably Monsters handled this very well. They came out with a quick response and a very straightforward one saying, respect is one of our core values. Comments recently made by a former employee about Charlie Kirk's death were offensive and violated our social media policy. We do not tolerate this behavior, and the individual is no longer with the company. See, it's really just that easy. For all these companies out there, short, quick statement that was made in a very quick manner, and that's it. Now they're getting praise from everyone. People in the comments are very thrilled with their response. And also I'll point out here too, the social media policy that they're referring to. Most gaming companies have social media policies in their contracts. In fact, most jobs do, especially any corporate jobs. They can fire you for your social media posts. That is something everyone should pay good attention to if you care about your job. But yeah, they came out, handled this very quickly, and that's that. And now they're getting praise. So credit where credit is due. They handled this very, very quickly. You had a guy who was not only mocking his death, but also seemingly hinting at a desire for more political violence. So obviously that shouldn't be acceptable anywhere. But now we're shifting over to the content creator side of this whole discussion with Hasan Piker, who of course has been having a very turbulent couple of weeks as a lot of people have been focusing on his continued use of rhetoric that spreads hateful messages or seems to advocate for political violence. What happened to Charlie Kirk has reopened that discussion and gotten the attention of some very, let's just say, powerful people. But before we get into the most recent stuff, let me just give you some context. There was a very huge memorial service for Charlie Kirk yesterday. And of course, the wackadoos were there in full force.
She said, oh my God, that was
in case you didn't catch what just happened, this totally normal, empathetic person was sitting outside of the memorial service and waiting for people to walk by to harass them, including a pregnant woman who she said to her that her baby should lose its life. And she was smugly proud of that and even sat there smiling as the woman's daughter, who's clearly very young, was visibly upset and crying. These are the ghouls who celebrate these acts of violence, and anyone who can at least pay respects to Charlie Kirk or denounce what happened. But while there were whack jobs like that, there are plenty of other hijinks going on. You can see there was thousands upon thousands of people waiting outside to get in, and even, as you can see, Secret Service snipers trying to hype up the crowd. This country is something, man. I'll tell you that. I love this country. But here's an inside look at one of the two stadiums. There was a stadium filled right here and across the street. So it was a very big deal, and a lot of people turned up. And I'm not going to sit here and review all the speeches, but one part that's important to understand some more context. The wife of Charlie Kirk, the now widow of Charlie Kirk, Erica, forgave the assassin. She forgave the assassin for what he did to her husband, which is something I'm sure a lot of people out there wouldn't have the strength to do. But of course, we live in clown world, where on social media, somehow this was a problematic thing to do. Viral posts like this, with 254,000 likes, saying, white supremacy is so crazy because he literally killed your husband and you're forgiving him because he's white. Just blatant slander, calling forgiveness an act of white supremacy. Do you understand how bad that sounds? Besides the disgusting nature of this whole thing, trying to shame her and accuse her of things for displaying an act of forgiveness, but this correlation between forgiveness and white supremacy, is that really the argument you want to make? I don't think the 254,000 people who liked this tweet, totally real people, definitely not bots. I don't think they really thought that one through. But of course, there was more insanity. This person trying to say that she was making demonic symbols at the end, trying to praise Satan, which unfortunately for this whack job, that is I love you in sign language. But now we get to Hasan. I just want to kind of give you a sense of the crazies in this situation and how they are really panicking. They're doubling down with their attacks. They're desperate. And Hasan is starting to realize the temperature has increased. More and more people are paying attention to not just violent rhetoric being praised or encouraged online, but specifically with people like himself, where Donald Trump would make a speech during the memorial service, and he would talk about influencers who are making excuses for the violence or expressing jubilation or doing this for the last 8 years.
And then he just will add on, Charlie loved it when I did this stuff over and over again.
Influencers and others in our society who greeted his assassination
Wait,
with sick approval,
what?
excuses, or even jubilation. You've heard that. So have I. Couldn't believe it.
He's coming
Some
after
of the very
influencers.
same people who spent the last 8 years trying to sit in moral judgment of anyone who disagreed with them about politics suddenly started cheering for a murder. Incredible. You know the names. They're major losers, by the way. That will be proven out in a short period of time. Some of the very people who call you a hater for using the wrong pronoun were filled with glee at the killing of a father with 2 beautiful young children. And the same commentators who this week are screaming fascism over a canceled late-night TV show where the anchor had no talent and no ratings. Last week we're implying that Charlie Kirk deserved what happened to him.
Yeah, he heard that and he took it personally. And why wouldn't he at this point, right? I think he was sitting there like genuinely just hoping he would get a name drop. Because at this point, like, what else does he have to lose? Like, he's getting talked about on national networks. He's getting talked about by very powerful people. And, who knows at this point if he would get a name drop from Donald Trump. And that's not really a name drop you want when it's associated with people glorifying political violence and the death of people like Charlie Kirk, or sharing a similar rhetoric in general, which is more of the focus for Hasan. He's never said anything about advocating for violence against Charlie Kirk or saying it was a good thing. He said disrespectful things, I think, over the past week or two, but it was nothing that was advocating for violence against him or additional ones. But we all know he's been saying stuff that has encouraged violence on others for years and years and years. And it's a part of his community. And this has put a new fire into this discussion about radicalization online and people saying these unhinged things. And a lot of people are making Hasan Piker the face of this entire thing. So I guess at this point, that is the trophy he wants. And while Hasan Piker will never have the great respected career in journalism or this huge position as a political pundit or even a politician that I think he always has yearned for, you have to respect the ops he has developed over the years. And it wouldn't be too shocking if this sort of a comment from the president was with people like Hasan in mind. And there's another element to this that is crazy, okay? Elon Musk and Donald Trump had a big public falling out a couple months ago, but as you can see from the caption from Elon Musk, he said, "For Charlie." He met back up with Donald Trump seemingly for the first time in a good while. And he shook his hand, and it seems like they're on good terms again. So why does that matter, Rev? Well, the last 2 weeks, Elon Musk has been publicly calling out Hasan Piker over and over again. Make no mistake, think what you want about the guy or his personality or anything like that. He is the second most wealthy man in the world with connections to a lot of powerful people. In fact, he's been putting pressure on Jeff Bezos for this duration of 2 weeks, calling them out for allowing Twitch, one of their companies they own at Amazon, to allow someone like Hasan to keep getting away with acts of political violence, like one of his many examples included in this tweet he is quoting. And of course, he's not liking it. He's trying to act smug about it, but he is starting to get a little bit tired of dealing with Elon Musk, which is very funny. And he's now having to operate under the assumption that Elon's never said anything to someone like Trump. I mean, we see the pressure he's putting on Jeff Bezos, but does it really stop there? He seems to have a personal feud with Hasan Piker. And honestly, I get it. Out of spite, he invited multiple members of his life, his ex, he invited her onto a stream. He invited Elon's transgender kid onto another stream. Like, he's doing that purely out of spite. You did this to Elon Musk, and now he's starting to get back at you. And now he doesn't like it.
He's back to crying about me again. Nice, dude. Oh, there's nothing you can do, man. In this day and age, there is literally nothing you can do. If you got like a rich asshole who is genuinely obsessed. If you got a rich asshole who's genuinely obsessed, there's actually nothing you can do about it. They will just like consistently hound you. It's just crazy. You have a dude's baby mama on the stream one time and she fucking says, "Why are you so buff? Is it necessary?" And then he just makes it his fucking life's mission. It's one time, bro. Let it go. Let it fucking go. Jesus Christ, dude.
Yeah. Do you really take this guy whining about rich people that seriously as he goes back to his $3 million LA home and his $200,000 sports cars? Like, this is absolutely insane. A victim all the way to the end in every situation he's involved in. But a lot of people are also pointing out that some of these comments could be in reference to Destiny as well. And Elon's also been pushing for punishment on him, saying that he's in deep trouble, and also quoting another post where, in reference to what someone claims is endorsement of political violence, he says, "Let him say what he wants to say, but then also pay the price under the law." And I believe Destiny's lost his monetization on YouTube for, I believe, 90 days. So a lot of things are going on here, and it's all stemming, at least right now, primarily from the Charlie Kirk assassination, whether it's comments directly about him or comments generally that are advocating for political violence. It's gotten attention of very powerful people, whether you like them or not. And this is something a lot of people have been pushing for a very long time. For people to take this stuff seriously so it doesn't continue to translate into real life violence. And these platforms like Twitch, they don't do anything about this. And they haven't for years. And now there's a sort of reckoning. And Twitch, among other platforms, their CEOs have been invited to speak before Congress. And whether that happens or not, we're going to have to wait and see. But, you know, you can feel something happening here. You can feel like the pressure is mounting to a point where even Twitch might have to do something at some point. But for now, that's going to do it for this video. As always, feel free to share your thoughts about today's topics in the comment section down below. Hope you guys enjoyed the video, and I'll see you next time.